Welcome back to Julie's Wreath Boutique, and tonight we're going to create an easy and beautiful fall flower wreath that you can make in minutes. Well, at least under 60 minutes. So let's get started. So as I was getting set up here, I remembered I have to let my wood burner heat up. So while we're doing that, we're going to cut out the canvas mesh. We're going to get a 10-inch wreath form, and we're going to trace it out, we're going to cut it out, and then we're going to assemble it with some zip ties. It's pretty easy and straightforward, and that's what we do every time we make a flower like this. But if you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. If you have seen my videos, you know the drill here. You've seen me do this, okay? But I'm going to add the little zip ties, and then we're going to use my favorite scissors that you guys actually told me about. You can get them on Amazon for around $13, and they're the best scissors. Then I'm going to use my ultimate collapsible mesh holder. You guys asked me about that, but I have a new product that I want to share with you guys. Yes, we're using the wood burner, but you have to have a tempered glass cutting board or some sort of metal or something that you don't melt your table with, or your rotary cutter. You're going to cut a roll of poly burlap at 10 inches each. Then we're going to get our green out. I've got the little wood holder from the same people that make us the wonderful collapsible mesh roller. So I'll leave those down below for you as well. But you can get this tempered glass cutting board from Amazon, and I'll have the link down below. All right, so let's get this put together. You're going to cut about 5 or 6 of those leaves, depending on how many you want. So our wreath frame has 4 rows. Okay, we're going to start on the second wire of those rows, and I'm just going to loop my zip ties in between the brackets between row 1 and row 3, and that just kind of sets us up to be able to make our first petal and put it all together. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. But did you know that we're here every Sunday night? Yes, we are. So make sure you subscribe to my channel here. And if you want to get in the know, and if you want to learn how you can win a wreath like this, you got to be on my email list, and that's down below too. So our finished side on the top and the bottom, and then we're going to fold it over to make a triangle. And this is basically just a daisy petal, but we're going to cup it and kind of define the petals a little bit. My friend Trish from Dean Michael Designs designed this petal years ago, like 7 or 8, 9 years ago. But we're going to flip it in that first loop that we made with the zip ties, and we're going to cover each of the brackets. Now, you might have a wreath frame that has maybe 4 brackets or 6 brackets because it's a 12-inch wreath frame. Just know that if the bigger the wreath frame, the more petals you're going to need. And the smaller the wreath frame, the fewer petals you're going to need. But you're going to cut them all at 10 inches wide. So it's a 10-inch roll, and you're going to cut 10 by 10 inch squares. All right. You can see me put them on the wreath, and then I just kind of like make sure that we have that cupped look. And now that we have the first initial 5 petals, we're going to keep doing the same exact petal. All right. And now we're going to put 2 petals in between each of the brackets. Now, if you want to just do 1, you can probably get away with it, but you might want to make a bigger leaf. And we did a smaller leaf on this particular wreath, a little bit smaller than we normally do. So the first row is going to have 15 petals total. So let's work on the second layer. Now that we have all these petals on here, we're going to actually go in about 1 inch into the plastic canvas itself. Okay, so we want to cover the zip tie base of the first row, and we want to do a nice full leaf or petal on the second row. You're going to do the exact same one, and you're going to still give it that little curve technique, but you're going to use fewer petals here. So it depends on whatever size wreath frame you want to use. Now, if you want to use a 12-inch or 14-inch, I used all of my petals from a 30 foot roll of poly burlap that I got from the Wreath shop, and I will link down the Wreath shop, Trendy Tree, Wreaths of Joy. They all sell this poly burlap, and you really could just do whatever color you wanted. You also could use a deco mesh with this, but I would pick something that's a little denser. I like the stripe mesh that they have out right now. I feel like it's a little bit thicker than your typical deco mesh, but just know if you have some supplies on hand, give this a try. Now this one, we're going to do the leaves a little differently. We're going to fold over that triangle and fold over again. So we're basically making the same petal, but on a much smaller scale. All right, so we're going to gather that, but here we're going to do something a little different. I have a little bit of the green kind of sticking up in the middle, but that's okay. It's not going to be shown, and I want a little bit longer of a petal here. I want a little bit flatter of a petal, but I did 5 of these. You can do more. It's really up to you, and I just love the way that they turned out. So again, do the little triangle. Did I tell you that I was inspired to make this wreath from one of my Julie's Crafting Boutique members? She made hers a little differently than I did mine, but I loved the little acorn. That she had a bigger acorn, but I ended up using little acorns to cover everything. And I really am enjoying working with my ladies over in Julie's Crafting Boutique. If you want to know more, I would love to have you in the group. We are doing a Christmas wonderful, beautiful wreath and centerpiece or swag combo, and it's going to be amazing. So you're just going to slip this through on the 5 different brackets, and we're going to add the leaves there. Now for the center, we're going to do the same thing we just did. We're going to fold it over to one side, fold it again, and then make a smaller triangle. But with this one, we want more of a curved petal. So we're going to cup it up. Just like we cupped the original flower petals, we're going to do this one the same way. But I got some stems, some chenille stems to secure it. Now this is a really handy tool. I got this from Amazon too. It is super, super heavy duty, and it's really great. You can find it in my Amazon storefront, but I'll link it down below for you too. So you're just going to find a spot, because we need to keep this pretty tight. And you're just going to run that through that plastic canvas, and then you're going to twist really good on the back. All right, so you're going to keep doing this, and we're going to go through this whole rest of the petals that I had. I literally had 1 petal left. So you're going to use a full roll on a 10-inch wreath form. I'm just saying. But economically, making a wreath like this is pretty cheap to do, because you're only buying 1 roll of mesh. You need the green, but you can use that green on several different wreaths. So I used my scissors for that one. That's why I love these scissors. They are so heavy duty, and they can cut through so much. Again, got them from Amazon. Check out the description box below. But again, I was inspired by my friend who's in Julie's Crafting Boutique. We make wreaths every single month together. We have a lot of fun. If you want to learn more about Julie's Crafting Boutique, find the link down below, or go to julieswreathboutique.com. It's a Facebook group, and I would love to have you there. And listen, we're going to be making some really beautiful stuff for Christmas. I'm just saying. And you know what? I'm going to leave you a picture of what we're going to make. So you're going to want to get into that group. I just had to share this with you. We're going to be actually starting making this next week. We do 2 lives a month in a private Facebook group. You can purchase the kit, whether it's up to you. It is not a must, but you can get your own kit or use your own supplies. But we love to craft together. This month, we're doing October and November is only 1 wreath kit to purchase if you want to get it. If you want to know more, it's $14.99 to join, and go to julieswreathboutique.com to find out more, or just go to the link in my description box below. So let's get back to crafting. Okay, so once you get them all in, you're just gonna kind of like arrange them a little bit. As you can see, we used about 8 petals. Then I'm gonna take these small little pine cones that I've had for probably a couple years, but you can get them over at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. And I picked one larger one to put in the center, and then I started surrounding it. You can get creative. You could add more pine cones. You could get pine cones from your yard, dry them out, and maybe cut them down a little bit. But I thought this was just super cute. Now, if I could have had a pipe cleaner that matched the color of my poly burlap, I probably would have preferred that, because you will see just a little bit of the brown chenille stem that I use, but that's okay. It's, crafting doesn't have to be perfect. But if you guys watch this whole video, I'm going to show you how to finish this off, and you're going to want to be a little patient. Make sure that all of those little pipe or pine cones are glued down good, and then we're going to cover it. But if you watch the whole video, leave me a flower in the comments. This lets me know that you watched the whole video, and I always appreciate that. And as always, let's take a piece of felt. We're going to cut it the diameter of our wreath, and then you're just going to put it on with some shorter pipe cleaners. No, these aren't pipe cleaners, Julie. These are zip ties. Okay, Julie, it's been a long day. It's all right. But guys, we'll be here next week, next Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And watch last week's video too. I hope you loved tonight's video as much as I loved making it for you. Now, if you want to make this wreath, just get some poly burlap, some green poly burlap, a 10-inch wreath form, and some plastic canvas, and grab some acorns, and you can do this too. You can find the list down below for all the supplies, and I'll see you next week on Julie's Wreath Boutique.